Hey team, what's going on? Coach here. So I've been noticing some things that are trending on the team Facebook page, and also I've gotten some emails from people who are interested in my services who want to work with me that are coming from another coach who doesn't follow flexible dieting. Um, I wanted to touch on this a little bit because I feel like there's a lot of kind of misguided people or a misunderstanding of what flexible dieting truly is, in my opinion. Um, and I don't necessarily blame these coaches either, and I'll get to why. But to give you a little bit of rundown from where I come from and how I started tracking my macronutrients was that I was in college, believe my junior, senior year, and I was taking courses on nutrition. And I was learning, you know, when to eat what, why we eat certain things, just everything that I had learned out of a book. Okay? And I tried to experiment with these things. If I wanted to try to get leaner, I would reduce calories. If I wanted to try to build muscle, I would add some calories, and adjust my training protocols and things like that. And what I realized was just that I didn't feel like I was in complete control of what I was doing. I felt like there was a lot of inconsistencies. So what I did was I began to research, and I found Dr. Joe Klemkowski and Lane Norton, and they were talking about tracking your macronutrient intake, and I was like, wow, this is it. I can be extremely detailed, extremely accurate if I do this every day, and I can just adjust my macros to accompany my goal. And at that time, I didn't know really. I didn't know really the effects that macronutrients had on the body or anything. So for me, everything back then was just a learning experience. I was experimenting on myself, and so when I first started, all the information in the books was eating whole foods, eating healthy foods, micronutrient dense foods, things like that. And so that's what I ate. Everything was a whole food item. Everything was what you call now clean foods, and that's all I ate. That was it. And then when I moved back home after I had graduated from college, I was prepping for my first natural bodybuilding show, and I remember being like 4 weeks out. And up to that point in time, I hadn't had anything outside of my norm. And my mom came home with bagels one day. I believe it was bagels. And now I looked up the macronutrient information for a bagel. I said, well, this cup of oatmeal that I'm about to eat, roughly the same calorically as a bagel, has about the same amount of carbs, similar fat, similar protein. I'm just going to substitute this for this. And that's what I did. I even put some fat-free cream cheese on it. It was delicious. You want to know what happened? Absolutely nothing happened. I looked great before I ate it. I looked great after I ate it. And that was it. A couple weeks later, I was craving something sweet. So you know what I did? I went to the grocery store, bought some ice cream bars. I ate one. Nothing happened. I remember being 2 weeks out from my first show, I believe it was, and I went out to eat dinner with my family. And they were eating bacon cheeseburgers and chicken sandwiches and french fries and all that. And I didn't, because at that point in time I didn't want anything to happen to my physique. If I would have gone outside of my macros at that point in time mentally, I would have thought that would have hindered what I looked like. So I went home and I had a craving for the burger. And so I told myself, I said, if this is something I'm going to be able to follow for a long time, and I'm going to be able to live this lifestyle, I have to be able to eat things that I want to eat. Otherwise, I'm going to be miserable, like the rest of the bodybuilders in my gym are. I'd go in there every day and I'd see them and they'd be like, oh man, my diet sucks. I can't wait until after the show. And to me, that's just the wrong mindset to have. If you're going to make this a lifestyle, make it a lifestyle. So I went to the store, got some ground beef, some bacon, some cheese, and I went home, made a bacon cheeseburger. I made it fit my macros perfectly, and I ate it, and it was delicious. Nothing happened to me. 2 weeks later, I won the overall at my first bodybuilding show. Nothing happened. I won. And I ate a bacon cheeseburger. You know what I mean? So, for me, I had to make it attainable for a long time. And when I used to fit things in, it wasn't like I would do it all the time. I just did it when I felt like I needed it. And I remember having those substitutions, okay, substituting my oatmeal for my bagel. I remember when I had those substitutions that I told myself, I said, man, this is it. I can do this because I can just fit things in that I have cravings for. And nothing else from that point in time. It wasn't so much physically, you know what I mean, that I needed it, but mentally it just opened me up. It was like freedom, okay? It was like I was no longer a prisoner to my diet, and I could eat what I wanted. But because I didn't have those limitations, nobody was telling me, you can't eat that. You can't eat that. Nobody was telling me that. So I didn't want to eat any of that other stuff. Because there was no limits. I was free. And all I had to do was track my macros. So from that point in time, I still would have, a few things that I enjoyed, maybe a couple times a week or so. So that's a little bit of history on how I got into tracking macronutrients, which is why I think I still have the habits of eating majority whole food, and then I fit things in throughout the day that, I want. Like for instance, today I had pancakes. I wouldn't do that every day, but sometimes it's okay. I mean, it's okay to do that because, like I said, it's not going to hurt you. But what this video is more about, that was just a little bit of kind of where I come from and why I view things the way that I do now, is that over time, okay, these words have manifested, okay? If it fits your macros, flexible dieting. People see these things and it's very attractive to them because when you go on social media, when you go out onto the internet and you research if it fits your macros and things like that, people have kind of gotten away from the healthy side and just tracking your macros, gotten more into, okay, this is what you can eat if you follow, if it fits your macros, or flexible dieting, which to the uneducated person only viewing this from the outside, which are these coaches that I'm talking about, or these people who don't follow if it fits your macros, to them, because they don't know any better, all they see is what we put out. Okay? They see what we put out. So they see the pancakes, they see the ice creams, they see the muffins, the cookies, all this stuff. That's what they see. So that's what they correlate with if it fits your macros. So they think, oh, well, all they eat is junk food, and you can't get lean doing that, and all their excuses, whatever it may be. So I don't necessarily blame these coaches because that's what we've put out there for the majority of the time. Now I know a lot of us have also put out, that we put out posts saying, we don't only eat this. It's just, we eat it when we have cravings, or, we're on like this 80-20 split or whatever. But they're not seeing that. You know what I mean? Because for them, they need something to justify when their clients ask them, hey, I'm thinking about switching, to tracking my macronutrients, or if it fits your macros. Again, when you go to them, their mindset towards tracking macronutrients is, it's this. So again, I don't blame them because that's what we put out. So that's their viewpoint. So they can talk to you as, oh, it's not healthy. You eat crap food. It's bad for your body. It's whatever their excuse is. No good athletes track their macros because you can't get lean doing that. I think we all know all those are crap excuses that cannot be validated from anybody, because they can't, because people who track their macros do look great. Hormone levels are not going to get altered from counting your food, because that's all tracking macronutrients is counting your food. Eat what you want, count your food. I think a big mistake that a lot of these people make who don't track their macronutrients is they're not in complete control. You know what I mean? Tracking things as far as somebody just telling you what you can eat, it places you under restraints. It makes you a prisoner. Like I was saying before about being free. Living an attainable lifestyle is very important to somebody in fitness, because how many people come into the fitness industry, they work with a coach, and then a year or two later they're done. You never see them again. Happens way too often. I've been tracking my macronutrients since '09, so it's been like almost 6 years. And, it's something to me that's attainable. I don't know anyone who's been able to follow a diet religiously for 6 years without jumping off the wall and binging on something, when they have restriction. I don't know anybody. Name the diet. Tell me the diet, because I haven't heard of it besides tracking your macronutrients and living a flexible dieting lifestyle. So that's kind of my take on why people have the viewpoint that they have as regarding flexible dieting. So yeah, I mean, in my opinion, these people just need to be more educated and learn more about what tracking your macronutrients really is, because it's not about ice cream and pancakes and Pop-Tarts. It's not about that. It's about a more educated approach towards your nutritional goals, your body composition goals. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. This is Coach signing off.